Hello, and welcome to our presentation. Today, our group members will explain the terms and history of Russia and the Near Abroad during its Soviet era and how it is perceived today. Alexis will define terms that help us understand Russia and the Near Abroad's policies and struggles. Caralen will explain some of the key features of this region and ideas the USSR implemented among its people. Daniel will bring us up to date with Russia's nuclear power agreements with Africa and the Middle East and how their political views intertwine with their arrangements. William will follow up with questions to pique your interest of our region. I'm Heather, the producer, and I've put this video together to help you learn more about this vast and varied region. But first, let's talk about vocab. After the fall of the Soviet Union, Russia and 8 other former Soviet Republic countries created an association known as the Commonwealth of Independent States. It is designed so that the countries are able to amicably agree on and enact new policies in the political, economic, environmental, humanitarian, cultural, and other fields. This new organization is far more democratic than its communist ancestor and allows the countries within the region to try to get along better. In 2015, NATO and Russia entered the new Cold War. After Russia tried to take over Ukraine, breaking international law, NATO refused to allow them to do so, and matters got heated. When Russia refused to back away from the conflict, NATO sent reinforcements to Ukraine to arm its militia. Essentially, this created a classic Cold War standoff. Russia experienced a vast increase in deaths per year just after the fall of communism in 1991 and continued until its death rates outnumbered its birth rates. This phenomenon is known as the Russian Cross. Many of these deaths in Russia were and are from unnatural causes, including heroin overdose and alcoholism. However, in about 2015, the numbers started to balance out. Russia, as well as other countries around the world, offers monetary incentives to boost their population. This incentive seemed to help increase the births per year, but the fight against substance abuse still exists. Russia and the Near Abroad covers an enormous region of space at a breathtaking scale. This geographic realm consists of the core countries, including Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, and Moldova, as well as the Caucasus region of Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. It also includes the Central Asian countries of Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. Though this realm consists of many countries, Russia controls the vast majority of the space. The region covers a total of 8.5 million square miles, with Russia encompassing 6.5 million of those square miles. Russia itself is over twice the size of the United States. The country even spans across 10 time zones, creating a source of national pride for Russians. This realm stretches halfway across the globe, but has formidable problems associated with climate, terrain, and distance. As you can see on this map, Russia's climate ranges from subtropical in the southeast to ice caps in the far north. Due to the massive land space of this region and the harsh climatic conditions, populations are scarcely spread across it. This map shows where population is most concentrated in Russia. The most heavily populated cities in this region are Moscow, shown here, with a population of 16.1 million, and St. Petersburg, which is right here, with a population of 5.1 million. The closest populated city in comparison to Russian cities is Tashkent, Uzbekistan, with a mere population of 2.2 million. This truly enlightens us to understanding how much Russia dominates over its neighboring countries. As many of you know, communism is a political system in which control operates from the top down by one powerful state figure. The political system of the Soviet Union was characterized by the superior role of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. With the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, the political dynamics of Russia have changed immensely. Many of the Soviet socialist republics are now their own states, thus causing major rifts in the political dynamics of this region. Today, Russia operates as a semi-presidential federation. This is a system of government in which a president exists alongside a prime minister and a cabinet. According to the Constitution of Russia, The President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, is the head of state and a part of a multi-party system with executive power that is headed by the Prime Minister, Dmitry Medvedev, who is appointed by the President and approved of by the legislative powers. Parliament is divided into two houses of power in the Federal Assembly of the Russian Federation. The religious structure of Russia includes Russian Orthodox at 15 to 20% of the population, Islam, which is 10 to 15%, and Christianity at around 2%. Russia also has large populations of non-practicing believers and non-believers. In order to practice their religious beliefs, many Russians visit sacred places. Sacred places in the realms are places of worship and also serve as cemeteries. Russia officially recognizes Orthodox Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and Buddhism as traditional religions. However, most of these religions are rarely practiced in Russia. There has been a major decline in the respect for religious freedom by Russian authorities, which is promoting some internal conflict. Russia, in general, is a fairly developed country in comparison to other countries on the Human Development Index, or HDI. However, HDI varies from region to region within Russia. Life expectancy at birth is roughly 71 years, which ranks them at 154 in comparison to the rest of the world. After the fall of communism, Russia experienced what is known as the Russian Cross. This caused their birth rates and their death rates to take a dramatic switch. Suddenly, their death rates were significantly higher than their birth rates. Today, Russia has a population growth of negative 0.08% due to slightly more deaths annually than births. The fertility rate of Russia is also very low compared to the rest of the globe. Women on average have approximately 1.61 children in Russia. Over 74% of the population is urbanized, with their capital of Moscow at the heart of the urbanized population. Our current event article, Russia's Nuclear Power Politics in the Middle East, was written on September 21, 2017 by Sergei Balmasov. Sergei Balmasov is the senior analyst of the Center for Crisis Society Studies. He is an expert of the Middle East Institute Russian International Affairs Council. Egypt recently sought assistance from Russia in its nuclear energy ambitions. On September 6, 2017, the Egyptian State Council approved contracts with Rosatom, a Russian nuclear energy company for constructing nuclear power stations. From 2010 through 2013, Russia signed nuclear power stations contracts agreements with Turkey, Jordan, and Iran. Iran's nuclear power plant construction began with a German company, but the project was abandoned. In 2011, Russia completed the nuclear power plant. Russia will likely continue its business relationships in Africa and Middle Eastern countries. These relationships are attractive for countries receiving assistance because any country that possesses a fully functional nuclear station significantly increases its political power in its region. Russian contracts of nuclear power manufacturing provides partnering countries with a stable energy supply source, a diversification of energy sources, and industrial modernization. Russia's nuclear power industry ensures its place in the world's economy and politics. Russia has surpassed the United States, Japan, and France in the nuclear energy market. Russia, China, and South Korea all use nuclear power and consume less alternate sources of energy. In fact, Russia faces fierce competition between South Korea and China in expanding into the nuclear power market. Since consumption of nuclear power results in an increase of gas and oil supply, Russia's strides in developing nuclear energy contributes to lower global prices for gas and oil. Russia can potentially continue negotiations with countries wishing to introduce nuclear power. However, Russian nuclear companies sometimes find it difficult to finish the projects. Countries that sign Russian nuclear contracts face pressures from protesters who view the building of nuclear power plants as a dangerous threat to the environment and global safety. Furthering these plans of nuclear expansion are dependent on the complex political relationships with countries in the Middle Eastern, African, and Asian countries with the participatory nations of the European Union. As nuclear power threatens the world population with possible extinction, it will be up to world leaders to decide to either expand or halt nuclear power usage. So let's discuss. Here are 2 discussion questions about Russia and the near abroad. Number 1. Compare the new Cold War to its predecessor. What characteristics do they share? How do they differ? Have the advancements made over the course of time played a role, whether technological, societal, etc.? Number 2. After the fall of communism in 1991, Russia experiences a phenomenon known as a Russian cross. Describe its characteristics and what you think caused this phenomenon to take place. What measures may be taken to prevent a travesty of this nature? Let us know what you think in the discussion board on Blackboard. We hope you enjoyed our video. Thanks for watching.